Hello, everyone. We are here with our. Uh, we're beginning our State of the Association. That's what it was. State of the Association address for this week in December. It is the 15th. So we are um, halfway through December. People are trying to get their things together, I'm sure. But that's all right. That's all right. For now, what we're doing is we're going to be talking about today just kind of some questions and things like that I have for you, trying to catch you before you go on to whatever breaks you're going to have. This seems like the appropriate time to do it. We're just going to do a best wishes and a yearly recap next time. So, this time we are talking about things that we'd like to hear from you about. First off, we have announcements about different events coming up and things like that this week, this year, this month. I can't say this year, but some time period. We're going to be having the Eden Wellness Alliance doesn't have any events coming up. We don't do events in December simply because people are already busy doing other things. There are some other events coming up this month, before the end of the year. CRN is still meeting. It's not just because you haven't seen them broadcast doesn't mean we're not meeting. We are meeting. But we're getting a few things together. We're going to be using this program that you're seeing right now to also do that. So hopefully, it will make it to where people will be able to. We'll have like some information over here for people. Well, we'll have the Creative Referral Network or River Valley Creative Referral Network or something like that. The name over here, and then down below in the corner here, we'll have the actual Facebook hashtag thing that people can use. But right now, we're not broadcasting anything because we're waiting until next year. We're getting all that set up for the background and things like that, and then we're waiting until next year in January to start our broadcast. We're not going to be broadcasting the week after Christmas week. We're not going to be meeting Christmas week or first of the year week. So I know that we will not be meeting the 27th with CRN or the 3rd. But next week we should still be on, if I remember correctly. Any CRN members watching this that know differently, let me know. But I believe the plan is still to meet on the 20th. I think it is the 20th. Let me see. I think that covers everything I wanted to do for this month. Next month there's a few things coming up. Jacqueline Spain wanted me to mention a couple things that she has going. She's got 2 classes already planned for January on the 16th, and then 1 class on the 17th. So, the 2 classes on the 16th. There's going to be a private class in Pensacola, Oklahoma, around 1. You can contact her for more information if you're in that area and you'd like to go. It is a private class, but you could still contact her, see if there's a way that you could either come to that class or get a class planned for you and yours that you want to have there also. You can get a hold of her at 479-719-0952 is the number she prefers to be called at, and just tell her that hey, we heard about your class you're having in Pensacola on the meeting thing that the Eden Wellness Alliance does, the State of the Association, or whatever. Just call her and tell her what you're talking about. And then also on the 16th, there's going to be essential oils for Valentine's, and it's on the 16th so that you'll have time to prepare them or get them or do whatever you need to do to have them for Valentine's, which is a month later. That actually is not a bad idea when you think about it, because you have Valentine's Day coming up in just a couple weeks after that, or a month after that. um, and that gives you time to get what you want. So, essential oils for Valentine's. It's going to be at the mansion here in Fort Smith. Teresa is the host for that one. Again, if you have more questions about that one, you can get with Jackie. Again, 479-719-0952, and she can kind of give you a bit more logistical stuff, like the address of the place, I believe, and different things like that. It's going to be at 6 p.m. The one in Pecola's at 1. This one's at 6. And that is a Monday, if I remember correctly. I can always check right here for you guys. Let me see. The 16th is a Monday. The 17th is a Tuesday. And it is going to be a New Year, New You class at the Egg and I. So if you're wanting to start your new year off right and get everything, try and address some things that you want to work on in your health, wealth, or relationships with her, or with essential oils or without essential oils, because I'll be there to help answer questions. You can come to that, and it's going to be at the Egg and I. It's 11 to 2 in Fort Smith. The Egg and I is over by the Planters Peanuts. The Planters Peanuts Factory, south side of Fort Smith. I believe that's everything coming up. And that leads into something that I'm asking you guys for, which is feedback. I'm looking for feedback on the classes that you want to see and the things you want to see from the Eden Wellness Alliance. We've been doing this broadcast, and if we encourage you to give us questions, comments, observations that you'd like to have put in, that you would like to have set up and understood. That way we can always get you taken care of. We want to take care of you and help you work through the things you need and address the needs that you might have. It does us no good. It does no good for you guys to just tune in and then not do anything with it. So that would be excellent if you could do that. And we kind of talk a little bit about the things we did last year, or this past year is a better way to say that. We had several classes that I was hoping would have had a bit more attendance and reception. We like it when people involve with us more, and that's what I'm kind of getting at here. We want you guys to be involved with us a bit more on what you're wanting to do, the different things that you would like to see. Now, last time we had essential oil preparedness, which was basically we had 7-ish steps or things, something like that we were talking about using, and this was good for this. If you were preparing for like emergency preparedness, you could do this step and this step, or this thing and this thing to get closer to what you're looking for. We addressed goals with people about what they wanted to do, how they wanted to set themselves up, shared information, stuff like that. I like doing that, but I want to do it in a way that you will most benefit from it, that you'll get the most of what you can from it. And that's not going to happen if I'm not getting what you need, if I'm not getting you what you need. So what I'm looking for is feedback on the different things you would like to see. So last year we had essential oil preparedness, which was a series of different events. We had just emergency preparedness the healthy way, which was kind of like a session 0 of, or a step 0 of what you're wanting to do to get yourself ready for whatever emergency might come up. And people would get in the mindset sometimes of, well, this is a an emergency prep thing, or this is a prepper thing. Well, the CDC says that you need to have X amount of stuff available in case something happens, because emergencies are emergencies. They just, this world-ending stuff doesn't necessarily, is not come around ever before. So unless you count the flood, which it didn't technically kill all the world, but that's a different thing. You have this misconception that only preppers do X. That's not true. The CDC says you need to have 3 days of water and 3 days of food stored back. You need to do that. That's what the CDC says. I mean, the government says that's the best thing for you to do. Now, we go into more detail. We talk about the needs of a physical body, what needs you're going to need to prepare for. Like, if you're really in a emergency situation, you actually will need slightly more water and more calories than they're actually recommending, because if you have that stored back, you're going to be able to better address what's going on. You're going to be better able to address whatever might come up. And that's what we kind of walk people through. What they'll need. What they might want for this spot or that spot that they, for their house that they want to get ready for. And we do that both in the Emergency Preparedness the Healthy Way class, which is a single class that basically we walk through the recommendations from the CDC, and then we go into more detail on what would best benefit you guys in your situations. And then there's the EO Preparedness class, which is that 7-ish step class that talks about, okay, this is more important for you. You got this prepared for this situation or that situation, and so on and so forth. We also did a couple times last year the Reflexology in You class, or we also called it Couples Footsie Time. I like that title personally, but that's one that I like to do. We have you guys come and you bring a buddy, or sometimes a single person will come and they will be interested in a certain thing and or getting a certain health situation kind of addressed, or at least talked about, and that way you can get more out of what you're doing in that situation. So even if you didn't bring a buddy, we would still have somebody work with you or work on you and stuff like that. So even single people could have come. I'd like to do that maybe once or twice again. Unless there's a greater interest in it, I probably will kind of only do it once or twice in the year. Also, I'm not going to plan to do that essential oil preparedness if there's not more interest in it, because it's more intensive. We're talking about specific things, we're addressing specific scenarios, we're addressing specific things that might go on, and we're addressing your specific needs in what you're wanting to think about. So in that sense, we're not going to just devote that much time and thought to that if people aren't going to be ready for it or aren't going to want it. But we will probably do at least 1 or 2 classes of the Emergency Preparedness the Healthy Way, because that gives people a foundation to work on. And then they can tell us if they're more interested in other things. We still plan to have 10 to 11 classes through the year. So that averages out to about 1 or so a month. I haven't fully decided if we're going to do something in January yet, but we don't do something in December. So of the 12 months, that's 10 to 11. We do something at least once a month, and then we do these every week. I'd like to know what you think of these State of the Association addresses. What would you like to see in them? How would you like them to be presented and put out for you? Do you like this, where we talk about like in the past ones, we've gone over different articles? I kind of liked that one. I liked when we started doing that. Beforehand, I would just kind of riff, and we would we kind of have a topic and I just riff on it and we would go. But in this, where we have an actual article to go over, you guys have stuff to look at, you can fact check me, stuff like that. That's probably what we're going to continue to do on these State of the Associations. I'm definitely open to changes in it, but I would like to have that feedback, like I said. You got to let me know what's going on for you, on what you're thinking about, what you're wanting. Do you want to go over studies, or do you want to go over articles? Do you want to have a specific thing that's talked about? Would you like to see some of these classes on the Eden Wellness Alliance YouTube channel for you to reference later? That's a possibility for certain classes or certain aspects that might be put together. I am willing to think about that, because I can do lots of things with this program. If you're wanting to, by the way, if you are a content maker of some kind, or you want to do online things like this, I can say that this program we're using is OBS. It is a open source it stands for Open Broadcast System or something like that. It's good. It's exceptional for a free program, so I would recommend it for you. But back on topic, using this online situation, this online medium, to make the video and then talk about it, talk about the health things that go along with it, I'm open to it. This specific one, this State of the Association, has a segment in it that's designed for your guys' questions, comments, and observations. If you have them, you can send them to me, or you can put them in the chat. I am watching the chat in case someone does put something. But the thing that you want to really, the thing that I'm wanting to really get for you guys is get from you guys is what you're wanting from this continuing forward. So I'm going to watch for your feedback. This time, this State of the Association is about you telling me what you want. And that's what we're going to work on. You tell me what you want. Tell me what you're thinking about. Tell me how you think about this different thing. What you're feeling about it. How do you feel better after you get to watch these? Or do you feel like, I could take it or leave it? So those questions, comments, and observations are invaluable for what we do. So I hope that this has encouraged you to set that out, to put that time aside to give us that information, because we want to give you the most value for your time, because time is the only resource that you can't get back. You can get money back. You can get position, power, you can get fame, fortune, all those things that people strive for. You can even get your health back in many cases. But you don't get back time. Time goes on without any consideration of anybody else. So, that understanding, I want you to get the most out of your time on these different broadcasts. But I can't do that unless you tell me what you need. So, that's what I have for today. I hope that it has been something, I know it's been what I need from you type thing, but it's really so I can give you what you want, what you need. So tell me what you want, tell me what you need. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. Okay, I'm not a Spice Girls fan, but that came into my head. Result of the 90s. Things happened. Anyway, I am Adam L. Spain with the Eden Wellness Alliance. Health and wellness the way God intended. All natural, non-invasive approaches to your health, wealth, and relationships. Have a great day, and I'll see you next week.